Thank you, Harry, so much for that very kind introduction. You know, I'm toeing the line. I may still be the youngest governor in the country, but I'm about to be ineligible for 40 under 40. So I'm going to hang on to that for as long as I can. But it is such an honor to be here with you this morning. And General Penn, thank you so much for your service, not just for being here this morning, but for all that you do for our state and have done for our country. And you have taken on this role as Secretary of the VA and done a phenomenal job in short order. So thank you so much for the work that you are doing. You know, during my career and certainly during my time at the White House, I've had the chance to meet some absolutely unbelievable people. But I find that no matter where I go and what I do, that the people I'm most impressed with are the veterans who have served our country. And nothing beats the men and women who have served that live right here in the state of Arkansas. Not too long ago during the campaign, I remember going up to Harrison and getting to attend an opening at a place called Camp Jack, a veterans community center. And I walked in and I'm greeting people and I meet a man named Vic. And I get to hear his story and I was mesmerized by hearing all the things that Vic had done in his time of service to our country. But what really stood out to me was finding out what Vic was doing the night before that community center opening. Vic, you see, had come in because he wanted that day and that event center to be perfect for the veterans like him who had served our country. And so Vic had climbed up into the rafters, and this was an old building, and we're not talking 10 or 12 feet into the air. This was 40 or 50 feet into the rafters to paint and make sure every piece of that room where the opening ceremony was going to be perfect. Ordinarily, that might not be that impressive, but when you find out that Vic was 80 years old and climbed up into those rafters, it got a lot more impressive really fast. And I was blown away by his dedication and his willingness to put himself on the line to climb up to make sure every little piece of that event and that opening was perfect. But I shouldn't have been surprised because that is the type of spirit that our veterans have. That is the type of dedication and duty that each of them bring every single day to everything that they do. Vic told me that morning that he loves to volunteer at Camp Jack because the veterans there deserve it. And if that means climbing up into the rafters at 80 years old, then he's game to do it. And that blew me away because men and women like Vic have gone above and beyond to serve our country, to serve our state, and serve their community. And they continue every day waking up and doing it over and over and over again. I look out into this crowd and I see other men and women just like Vic from Harrison, men and women who have already given so much to our country. And yet you're still here volunteering, dedicating yourselves, and pouring more and more into it. More sacrifice, more service. And it is truly humbling and amazing. You know, people look around right now and they can get disheartened by some of the things that are going on in the country. And they'll tell you that they've lost hope in America. But when I look out into this room and when I meet people like Vic, my hope is not only restored, but it is renewed. Because I know that the greatness of America is not in the events going on, but in the people who make up our incredible country. The Disabled American Veteran stands for the best part of our country, a spirit of service, not just here in Arkansas, but in every state, and even a few there in Washington, D.C. I know you're going to hear from a lot of the men and women who have made a real difference during this year's convention. But while I have the chance, there's a couple of the local chapters that I'd love the chance to highlight. At Harry's home chapter in Russellville, for example, I know that they're famous for monthly food distribution. With rising prices at the grocery store, things like that have never been more important than they are right now. Down in Sheridan, the chapter helps maintain one of the more interesting parks that honors veterans here in our state. It's complete with the full replica of a B-17 Flying Fortress that crashed in Grant County during the Second World War. And in Redfield, member Larry Nelson was just honored for 12 years of volunteering to drive veterans to their appointments, work that is frankly the bread and butter of chapters around our state. He's dedicated more than 3,000 hours and driven more than 2,200 veterans over 40,000 miles. Larry is an inspiration to all of us, and a great reminder of the spirit of dedication of our veterans. Of course, those stories barely begin to scratch the surface of everything that our local chapters and our members are doing for our state and for our veterans. It's such an honor to join you here today and give a small token of appreciation that I have on behalf of the state for the lifetime of service that each of you have taken. Know that my administration will always be here for every veteran in every corner of Arkansas. You have put everything on the line to defend our freedom and to keep us safe. The least we can do is give a helping hand and make sure that you know that we have your back here at home. Thank you for your service and for everything that you do and have done for our incredible country. Thank you so much for letting me be here with you this morning, and God bless.